Hi everyone, thanks for joining me for our IdeaCon Mini Worlds of Wonder creation video. I'm coming to you live here from the Rawlings Makerspace. You can see behind me, I'm hanging out in a cool new area. Yay! We're going to have two videos for this particular demo. One that's just really brief on how to paint your mini that you may have gotten in your kit, and if you didn't want it to just be gray, I did a little demo on how I made mine colorful. And then we also just will have the basic construction video for the kit that you guys got. If you're still interested in getting a kit, please just send me an email. My email is sharon.rice, SHARON.RICE, at PuebloLibrary.org. If you send in the email and include your name and phone number, I am more than happy to put a kit together for you and put it downstairs here at the Rawlings Library to be picked up. Unfortunately, unlike some of the other kits that you might see in this series, you can only pick your kits up at the Rawlings Library, but that's okay. We're pretty central mostly. If you need to come into town to do groceries or whatever, you'll be able to get your kit. But without any further ado or any other announcements, let's get started with our first video. This is a video that I filmed this morning about how to paint your mini. Wait, caveat before I do that. There is no paint or paintbrushes included in the kit because the mini painting is optional. But you're more than welcome to do it. If you have craft paint and brushes lying around your house, it's perfect. All right, let's get on with the video, shall we? Give me 1 sec to get it queued up here and we'll go. Hi everyone, thanks for tuning into this first video for the IdeaCon Mini Worlds of Wonder creation. This part is just going to be a brief little video talking about how to paint your mini that you guys have included in your kit. I did not include any paint or brushes. You don't have to paint your mini, but I thought it'd be really cool in the spirit of tabletop gaming if we talked a little bit about mini painting and just sort of how I go about painting a mini. So I have one here that I've started that'll be a part of the demo video for the actual kit building, and it's a little fairy. And I've started by painting her arms and her face and her head. You can do this one of two ways. These minis are they're plastic and they've got a really matte finish to them. So you don't need to prime them if you don't want to. If you were to prime them, what you would do is take like a white paint and paint the whole thing white to start with, and then paint your colors on top of that. It's not necessary with these ones, but you might see in a couple little spots where there's a little bit of the gray base coming out. If that's something that really bothers you as a mini painter, coat it in white first. But because this is going to be going in a terrarium and not something that we're going to be using to play a board game, I'm not going to bother too much with it. So I've got her little flesh parts and her hair painted already. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get started on her dress and boots and things and just kind of show you how to do it. It's really not terribly difficult, but I do highly recommend a couple of different things. Number one is this really fine tipped brush that I have here. A bigger brush is just not going to get the detail orientation that you want. And then I also have either acrylic or craft paint on my palette here. This is just your basic Sargent acrylic paint. And the reason I do that is because it's just a nice matte paint. It's not terribly expensive. You don't have to worry too much about, I don't know, the expense or the finish or anything like that. Also, it's water-based, so it comes right off if you get it on your skin. Acrylic is basically just liquid plastic when it comes right down to it, so it comes off of just about anything. It's fine for this. You don't need to go crazy, but watercolors won't work. Tempera paint won't work. You definitely need to have craft paint or acrylic paint. And with that said, let's just get started on painting our mini. I think I'm going to make her dress green, so I'm going to go ahead and just get started. It's a pretty simple process. It's just like painting anything. I just always recommend that people are careful in the corners, careful here and there. But one of the other reasons that you would use green acrylic craft paint or just any color, I guess. I'm just using green, so that's what I said, is because if you get it someplace you don't want it, you can just wash it off. So we're just going to give her little body a nice coat of green paint, and we'll move on from there. So this is just to quickly demo what we're going to do to paint our minis. And if you want to do this, it's fine. But again, it's totally optional to complete the craft. You would just have a little gray person in there. I just wanted to show you really quickly this part of the process before I went into the next video, which is going to be the making of the mini. So just watch me do what I'm doing here, and in just a second I'll turn the camera off and you'll see this mini again in the making of the kit video. So just about, see, look, I got a little paint in the wrong spot, but that's okay. Now she just has a different sleeve to her dress. There's a lot of really good videos on YouTube about mini painting if you suddenly decide that this is just something that really floats your boat and you're super interested in doing mini painting. I highly recommend those. There's a lot of different kinds of paint. There's a lot of different types of application for painting a mini. Normally we use them in tabletop gaming, obviously. I've made quite a few minis for various D&D campaigns that I've had over the years, but sometimes people use them in Warhammer 40K, which is a hugely mini heavy game. Minis are like, I think, the only reason people play that game. And someone will correct me. Someone will tell me that that's not true. But as somebody who is ultimately a crafter at heart, I think it's true. Play with your toys. But yeah, so this is just a fun way to get your mini made and created for your mini Worlds of Wonder. So feel free to paint or not to paint. That's up to you. But I'll continue painting this nice little lady here, and then I'll see you guys back again for the mini Worlds of Wonder creation. See you in a minute. My mic was muted. Thanks for watching that particular video. That'll just kind of show you how to paint your mini if you choose to do so. The next video that I'm going to load in here is the actual how-to video for the entire project. So I am just getting ready to share that with you now. Here we go. And I'm going to just load this video up. I think that it doesn't need much more explanation than that. All right, guys, here we go. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the second video in our IdeaCon Mini Worlds of Wonder creation kit series. This one is going to just talk about how we're going to put the entire kit together. So previously I talked about painting a mini, and she's all done. She's all painted up and ready to go in her kit. Again, you don't have to paint your mini. That's not necessary. But it is fun, and it adds another little layer of excitement to your little terrarium that you'll have on your desk. The first thing that we need to do is adhere her to the bottom of our glass, which is not glass, it's plastic, our plastic bowl here. And we're going to do that just using your own basic hot glue. Hot glue, again, is not included in this kit, but I'm using some high heat hot glue. The reason for the high heat is because we're sticking plastic to plastic, and low heat hot glue is just not going to become liquid enough to really stick it down on in there. But if that's all you have, it's okay. You just might need to hold your mini in place a little bit longer in the bowl before you decide to put your other stuff in. All right, let's see if my hot glue gun is hot enough. This is always the part I don't like. I expound almost every time I use hot glue on how much I'm worried about burning myself, because I've done it before and it really, really hurts. So I think we're in good shape though. Maybe if I can get any out of here, we'll be in good shape. My hot glue guns are just being pains recently, and so I'm sort of kind of struggling with them a bit to get out the glue. Let's see if that's enough. It might be. So I'm gonna stick my creature down into the, and it was, yay! I'm gonna stick my creature into the bowl and hold it pretty hard. I have big hands, so it's hard for me to get my hands inside of the terrarium, but I'm actually pretty pleased with being able to hold it in there. Most of you guys with smaller not going to have as much of a problem as I do getting my creature inside the terrarium, but there she is. She's right in the middle. You don't have to put your creature right in the middle of your terrarium, not necessary. But I like it because then you can see. These terrariums have a seam running down one or two sides of the bowl, and it's probably a good idea when you're sticking your creature in there that you don't put their face or the part you really want to look at right in front of that seam, because it does distort the view. All right, the second thing we're going to do is add our gravel with magic rocks in it. It's roughly a third of a cup of gravel, but you don't have to use all of it. Some of the minis that you're going to get are really big. I think we've got a few Pegasus in there, a few ogres, like just some random larger minis. And you might want to cover them up with more rocks or less rocks. It's sort of an aesthetic choice. This little fairy is actually one of the smaller minis that we have in the kit, so I may not use as much rocks. I'm just gonna kind of dump them in and move them around her and sort of just see what I think looks pretty. Make sure if you can, there, I think that's good. There's quite a few little magic rocks in there. We've got some tiger's eye, and there's jasper and quartzite and some really pretty polished ones in there. And if you want to pick them out of your gravel afterwards and add them in for a little aesthetic oomph, then you're more than welcome to. So there we go. She's in there with her gravel. And then we're going to add the moss. You guys have varying amounts and colors, but for the most part, you have about this much moss. I have green, there's purple, there's teal. Everything's a bit random in the kits. But it is a live moss, believe it or not. That's why it's spongy. If you were to put it in water, it would actually grow. You can tear it into pieces and put it in your terrarium. That might be fun. Let's tear this moss. Give me a couple of little pieces and put it in there around her so that she has some prettiness to look at. So there we go. There's that. And at this point, really, it's kind of done. I did not include any glitter or anything in this particular kit, but if you picked up kits for the potion bottles or something, there is glitter in those. And if you don't use it all in your potion bottle, you're more than welcome to put a little bit in your terrarium. And I think I might actually add a little bit of some sparkle to mine as well. This is completely optional, but if you happen to have any fun magical dust lying around, it does help bring out the sparkle. Don't go crazy. Too much glitter is never the right choice, believe it or not. And I'm somebody who likes bright colors and sparkles, but in this particular instance, it would really overwhelm what you're seeing in the terrarium, and you wouldn't be able to tell what was in there. So go gentle with the glitter. All right, now we're on to the last couple of steps of making the terrarium. We're going to take the fabric that is in your kit and tie it on with the twine. So we're going to put it around that lip. And this part is actually, I think, the trixiest part of the entire project, believe it or not. Every time I've tried this, it's taken a time or two to get the twine on. And it could be that you just need to have a buddy help you just get it tied tight. There we go. That actually went the smoothest I've ever had it go. And tied in a pretty good knot so it doesn't come off. obviously the glue and the gravel and stuff, the gravel isn't in there very tightly. It will come out if you twist it all over the place, and so we don't want to do that. And just having the lid on it, besides aesthetic purposes, is going to keep that gravel in there. So I have that there. I'm hoping you can see. You'll see better on your own. But I'm going to try to move the camera here. So excuse the fact that this is going to... So there we go. You see my little fairy. She's in her house. There's some sparkles. It looks pretty good. All right, I'm going to put the camera back up on its stand so that we can finish tying the knot and tying on the tag for this. Okay, so we're going to tie this. I've tied it in a double knot so that it doesn't come off. And then you also have a tag in your kit. The tag is to label it like this is a specimen of some kind. What I would recommend doing is cutting this extra piece of twine off. It's not necessary. You're going to use the twine that you have around the lid of your jar there to tie it on. And then on this, you can write the name of your creature. You can write something clever like a fake Latin name for your creature. I'm going to write on here that it is a common house fairy. And I'm going to use my best handwriting. Common house fairy. Just like that. And then I'm going to use the twine and just tie it on. Maybe, man. We do kind of want it to stick out a little bit. We want it to sort of look like it's like a tag if you were to say buy your terrarium at a terrarium shop for funny little magical creatures. And you can also kind of adjust your cloth. You can even cut it if you think that your cloth is too big for the top of your terrarium, and I kind of feel like mine is. You can cut it. I have pinking shears. You do not need pinking shears for this part, but I'm actually going to trim up the lid here. Once you get it on, so that you can see your creature inside. Again, you do not need to have pinking shears like I do to do this. Not necessary whatsoever. All right, and then with your, just cut off the twine there. And terrarium is completed. So I'll move the camera again and you'll be able to see the terrarium just in its finished glory. I hope that you guys enjoy making these. There it is. Pretty cute. Hope you guys enjoy making these creature terrariums, these little mini worlds of wonder with us. Thanks for participating in virtual IdeaCon. We're sad we can't get to see you in person with me and the entire IdeaCon crew. We love having you all into the building. We love seeing your costumes and showing you cool games and new things in fantasy literature. And so we do miss you, but we're very excited to be able to bring this to you virtually this year, and we can't wait to see you guys next year, hopefully in person. Until I get to talk to any of you guys again, stay safe, stay healthy, and keep making. Can't wait to see you back in the building at some point. Have a wonderful day. I'm having a heck of a time remembering to unmute my mic. Thanks for staying tuned for that whole video. I really appreciate you guys tuning in and paying attention. I've got new comments on here. I'm just looking to see. I did get a comment on that video about wondering if there's potion bottles kits, because I did reference those in regards to getting some glitter. You can pick those up at any one of our locations. And wow, something is talking in my background. Make that go away. You can pick those up at any one of our locations. They are not registration, so this particular craft, you do need to let me know that you're going to do it, just because it's kind of involved. But you should be able to stop by any location and ask for a potion bottle kit, and the supply is first come, first served. So please do. They're super cute. My good friend and coworker Kira did demo that earlier today, so you guys can go back through the catalog of videos that we have on the Rawlings Facebook site or on the PuebloLibrary Facebook site, and you can see Kira make those awesome potion bottles. So definitely go try to get a kit from your local branch. That's all I have for today. Thanks for staying tuned. We'd love to see pictures of your finished terrariums. So if you wanted to upload those to Instagram with the hashtag IdeaCon 2020, that would be amazing. Thank you so much for participating in our virtual con. Have a great day, guys.